You're gonna get another drunken hug tonight. I don't care what anyone says. You're getting a drunken hug. You too. You too. Drunken hugs are coming tonight.
Since we had 5 girls, she be like, up, all y'all get in the shower.
Mike. Man, Mike.
I'm gonna come hug you right now. I'm coming to hug you. Big hug. Get everyone to love each other.
Now this the motherfucker who did it though. See, this the motherfucker that did it. Man.
You think these billionaire men are just hanging out with these black rappers for no reason? No. It's for those photo ops. That picture went viral. But don't let them make you disrespect yourself and do all that. No. You got you jumping, bunny hopping. I know Meek Mill probably making some money because I ain't heard the rap since he started hanging with that goddamn dude. These dudes go too far past boundaries. Either they want to kiss up and hug up on your girl or they want to kiss up and hug up on you. Either way it goes, it's a violation.
You're going to get another drunken.
Alright, Shalom. I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakadash. The honors of the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Salutations to all the brothers and the few sisters out there. Unto Israelite foreigners from the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Shalom in the Hebrew, which means peace. Let me a quick show through the spirit of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai. Knowing brothers, you edify. And this is an ongoing subject because the simple fact is, show you how low and how vile our people are. And the scripture tells you in the latter days that the Lord is going to reveal everything. It's not a lie. A lot of these men that are put in the forefront, and women of our nation, are the lowest of the low amongst our nation. In other words, they don't have no integrity. They don't have nothing. And shit, there's a lot of scriptures coming in mind. But you will notice that these people that's on top, and this goes way back, they always put themselves, they're in a position of power, so to speak, around their people. When it's amongst blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, when it's their own kind, they are gods. But when it comes down to Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, they revert back to a child. All right, they revert back to a child. It's because the simple fact is, these are the lowest of the low. All right, like I said, a lot of scriptures come in mind, and one particular scripture is in mind. Let me get this real quick. First Maccabees 1, I believe it's 11. It says, in those days went there out of Israel wicked men who persuaded many, saying, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen that round about us. For since we departed from them, we have made much sorrow. So this device pleased them well. And certain of the people were so forward hereon, and went to the king, who gave them license to do after the ordinances of the heathen. So they went to get permission. And this, like I said, this goes back. This go way back. The lowest of the low of the nation of Israel will always sell out, so to speak. Now this got me thinking, and I just, because there's I forgot the name of the channel, but he brings out some good points. So one of the main points of this particular thing, maybe I'll put it in the description box if I remember. If not, forgive me. But it was a particular video, and the guy, he always bring out the Hollywood-ish, and a lot of things is fake. Some of the things that he says is real. A lot of things he says kind of fabricated, but it kind of hits a hammer to the nail. And one of them was a show that he made was, you will never be a mainstream rapper. So when you watch that particular video, damn, what is this guy's name? Industry Exposed. Yeah. But it kept changing it because it kept getting flagged. Industry Exposed. So when you watch that particular video, it hit a lot of truth to it. And one of the main truth was that a lot of these known rappers today, they didn't come from the hood. Matter of fact, a lot of them are sons of people that was part of the industry already. All right, and those people that was part of the industry already, their parents was part of the industry. Just like how you have the boule, and the boule's job is to keep the secrets of the they're the gatekeepers of the illuminated ones. They're not part of the Illuminati, but they the gatekeepers. The boule members, famous boule members as Al Sharpton, most famous of them all, Martin Luther King. All right, was a big gatekeeper. All right. So as I'm reading this, I'm gonna read it again because it just kind of hit me. So in those days went there out of Israel wicked men. So all up top, when you read this, it's talking about Alexander the Greek and his 4 generals and Antiochus, who took over the region after his fathers. All right, the Ptolemies after their fathers. All right, but Antiochus was the son of the Seleucus dynasty, and Antiochus is actually a title. So they already had men set up to make an agreement with the king. And what was that job? What was that part of that agreement? It was to keep the customs of the heathens throughout many generations. That's why you have people as Timothy, all right, whose father was a Grecian, and so forth, because they follow the customs of these heathens. And it all started, one of the main starts was this pinnacle right here. All right. And it says, who persuaded many, saying, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen. Another film. It's just kind of hitting me. So, Rosewood. And there was a specific scene of, there was a blacksmith and another one, his name was Junior. He was a blacksmith as well. And it was make horseshoes. And after the guy beat that cracker woman up, he went to them and he showed his Freemason ring. So these niggas like one guy said, yeah, he's a brother, he's a Mason. The other one was like, nah, I don't care, man, he's a cracker, this, that, that. But he still delivered him out of that town, and because of that, the whole place got burnt down. If that was true, who knows? But a lot of these niggas sold out. Matter of fact, they sold out from a long time ago. I'm gonna come back to that. Jeremiah 5:29, I believe. 26. Jeremiah 5:26. It says, "From among my people are found wicked men. They lay wait as he that setteth snares. They set a trap to catch men. As a cage is full of birds, so are their houses full of deceit. Therefore they are become great and waxing rich." And it's a known trait of the nation of Israel to do these things. All right? But for what cause? For what cause? And a lot of these guys, he's like laughing. I'm gonna give you a hug. What man in his right mind is gonna be receiving hugs like that from another man? All right? Those are not hugs. You know, Mark 8 and 35. For whoso shall save his life shall lose it. All right, this is the Lord speaking. The Lord saying, like, yo, those that save their life. Now, we all came under the curses. We all people that, you know, good, bad. Everybody came up, got the Lord put the curse in as a nation. You blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. The shortcomings, the desperations. All right, not knowing if you're gonna live or die. We all come from that. This is a true statement. So when they sit there and say like, oh, I know where you came from, this, that, to the third, a lot of them did. But what did they do to get to that point? All right? They didn't rely on the Lord. A lot of these people didn't rely on the Lord for their riches. All right? And some did rely on the Lord. I'm not knocking them. And it says, for whoso will save his life, and how is saving your lives? Is another good song. And the harder they come. Jimmy Cliff. He said, great song. But in that song, he said he don't want a piece of the pie when he dies. He want it now. But when you watch a film, which makes sense, because that's what the churches teaches you, that you have to be good. So when you be judged, you go to heaven. But heaven could be established on earth. However, a lot of people look at that point of view and say they're going to make their own way in order to preserve their lives. And a lot of them sold out to the enemy. All right? It says, but whoso shall lose his life for my sake and the gospels, the same shall save it. All right? So those that had the opportunities, and people forget about Moses. Moses was a prince. All right? He was a prince of a great kingdom. He was going to inherit a kingdom, and he refused that to be with his people. Okay? And a lot of these jakes that's out there that's putting them into that light will never do something like that because they want it now. All right? For what shall it profit a man if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul? So having the best record, being pumped, all right, being a mega star in magazines, being an idol to millions, billions of people in the world, your voice, your stance, and all that, yet you can't sleep at night, yet you can't look at yourself. All right? You got to be doped up. You got to be drugged the F up. Prescription drugs, cocaine, heroin, weed, whatever it takes to remember what you did to get these things. That's the reality of it all. All right? What are you going to gain? What it says, or what shall a man give to exchange for his soul, which doesn't belong to you? And what these men do, and these women, they give up their integrity. A lot of these guys bend over, you know. I guarantee that little baby character, I don't know who that is. I think it's the baby, whoever. I guarantee he was hard body when it came to his people, but when it comes to these crackers, he's giggling like a little girl. Because at the end of the day, that's the agenda. That's how you get down into that world. And it's publicly known. And yet you see how more and more of these jakes are doing it. You know why? Because they don't have no integrity. Okay? They don't got nothing at all. It said, whosoever shall therefore be ashamed of me and of my words in this adulterous and sinful generation, of him also shall the Son of Man be ashamed when he cometh in the glory of his Father with the holy angels. So majority of Jake is going to die, man. The Lord had the same temptation, and you all just gave it up. You know what I mean? Like, that is sick, man. Matthews 4:8, it says, and again, the devil will take him up in the exceeding high mountain and show him all the kingdoms of the world and the glory of them, and saith unto him, all these things will I give thee if thou wilt fall down and worship me. So this is the exact temptation that Yahweh Shai had to deal with. And the Lord rebuked Satan, man. Because this proved that Satan run this world. Okay? Matter of fact, let me see if I can get that real quick. one man. And that's in St. John. Yep, Spirit. St. John 18:4. It says, in fact, St. John 18:12. Then the band and the captain and officers of the Jews took Yahushua, bound him, and led him away into Ananias first, for he was the father-in-law of Caiaphas, which was the high priest at the same. Now Caiaphas was which gave counsel to the Jews to expedient that one man should die for the people. All right. So they gave up the Lord. There's another precept I'm thinking of. This is 11. Yep. Verse Matthew 11:49. And one of them, the name Caiaphas, being the high priest that the same year, said unto them, "You know nothing at all, nor to consider that it is expedient for us that one man should die for the people, and that the whole nation perish not. And this spake he not of himself, but being high priest, that year he prophesied that Yahushua should die for the nation." All right, let me see if it says it. And not for that nation alone, but that also he should gather together in one the children of the Most High that were scattered abroad. So they knew that the Lord had to die, but they still gave up the Lord. But it's not the point I wanted to get. Where it says that they didn't want to give up their seat. They didn't want to give up their power. There's another one in Mark. I haven't read it in a while. I think the 9th chapter? Salakia. Or maybe 2. I know it's in Mark. It's a parable. Salakia. It's a specific parable I was thinking of, but let me see if I can remember. What's the name? Very important. King's son. And that was a long shot. So I can think of right now. It's in Mark. I think it's Mark 11, but let me type in stewards. I'm gonna get it. It's Mark 12:1. It says, "And he began to speak unto them by parables. A certain man planted a vineyard and set an hedge about it, and digged a place for the wine fat, and built a tower, and let it out to the husbandman, and went out into a far country. And at the season he went to the husbandman a servant, that he might receive from the husbandman of the fruit of the vineyard. And they caught him and beat him and sent him away empty. And again he sent unto them another servant, and And at him they cast stones and wound him in the head and sent him away shamefully. And again he sent another, and they killed him, and many others, beating some and killing some. Having yet therefore one son, his well beloved, he sent him also the last unto them, saying, they will reverence my son. But those husbandmen said among themselves, this is the son of the heir. Come, let us kill him, and inheritance shall be ours. All right, let's look that up. Precept to that. This should be a nice, good one. If I'm not mistaken, there it is. The same one. It says, St. John 11:47. Then gathered the chief priests and the Pharisees and councils, and said, what do we? For this man doeth many miracles. If we let him thus alone, all men will believe on him, and the Romans shall come and take away both our place and nation. So the people did not care. This is spirit. They didn't care. The people that was in power position, the Pharisees, the Sadducees, was more concerned about their power than their own people. That's why you have a lot of sellouts amongst Israel, which follow that trend. That's why the Lord said this unto them. St. John 8:44 says, ye are your father the devil, and the lusts of your father you will do. He was a murderer from the beginning, and abide not in the truth, because there is no truth in him. When he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own, for he's a liar and a father of it. And that's what you're seeing with the majority of our people. They're complete sellouts. They don't want to lose their position. All right? They keep that thing going within the family. They keep this madness, this wickedness, a bunch of sellouts within the family. All right? They're always going to be on top, and the rest of the Israel that idolize them is always going to be in the bottom. And they're going to do whatever it takes, publicly a shameful thing, to stay on top. Because of this one thing, 1 Timothy 6 and 12, no, sorry. To the point, it says, matter of fact, 9. But they that will be rich fall into temptation and a snare, and into many false and hurtful lusts. And that's a false and hurtful lust. To lose your manhood, for some women to lose their womanhood for the price of money. All right? Of money that can easily be taken away from you. This is like that. This is like how Kanye West was so-called billionaire, and one day they took all that from him. And he even said it too. He said he don't give a damn if they got videos of him fucking a goat. He's gonna keep on talking. So blackmailing these celebrities and so forth. These guys have they have nothing. They got no soul. They sold their soul. So the Lord's gonna destroy them, man. It says, which drown men in destruction and perdition, which is utter destruction. For the love of money is the root of all evil, which while some men coveted after, they have erred from the faith and pierced themselves through with many sorrows. That's why they can't sleep at night. The prime example is Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson had to use a machine in order for him to sleep. So all the things that he was doing, he couldn't sleep at night properly. All right? And all this shit that these people are doing is for nothing. Because Isaiah 28, and I'm going to end it off on this. 28 and 14. Actually 15. Because you have said, we have made a covenant with death, which is an agreement. All right? They made a covenant with these small hatters, and they did whatever it takes. Think Jay-Z became a billionaire because it's pure talent? Hell no. None of these these mother effers cross that line until they completely soul, mind, body, and soul onto this system. All right. So they made a covenant with death, and with hell are we in agreement to keep the masses in this state. But what's going to happen in the near future? They're going to be no part for them. All right. They're going to be useless in their sight. It says, when the overscourging shall pass through, it shall not come unto us. So when all hell breaks loose, they assume that it's not going to touch them because they did what these elites told them to. They lived for the moment. All right. They kept their secrets. They kept the masses of the people on a spell, and they believe in their heart of hearts that nothing bad is going to happen to them. For we have made lies our refuge, and under falsehood have we hid ourselves. Therefore, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, behold, I laid in Zion for the foundation a stone, a tried stone, a precious stone, a sure foundation. He that believeth shall not make haste. Which is talking about Yahweh Shai. That's the same thing that these scribes and Pharisees, the wicked amongst them, was having. All right. They didn't want to lose their power. They didn't want to lose their seat. They wanted to sacrifice the Lord in order to do that. And that was trying them. Because these are the same ones that was talking about if they were there, they would never let the prophets be put to death. But they, like the Lord told them, you are your fathers. All right. It's like we read in 1 Maccabees. These are the same people. Okay. It says, verse 17, judgment also shall lay to line. So just because your father, your granddaddy was in the industry and he passed it down, and you want to continue being in that industry, continue doing Esau's bidding, guess what? That your line is going to be judging and destroyed. All right, if you continue, because the scripture says, the fathers should not pay for the sins of the sons, and the sons should not pay for the sins of the fathers. So even amongst Jake, there's the elect that won't sell out. But for those that follow that trend, you're gonna pay. It says, and righteousness to plummet, and the hell shall sweep away the refuge of lies, and the waters shall overflow the hiding place. And your covenant with death, little baby, McMills, Jay-Z, Lil Wayne, Baby, Puffy. I'll just name a couple of people. All these other known rappers and so forth. Your covenant with death shall be disannulled, shall be broken, and your agreement with hell shall not stand. When the overflowing scourge shall pass through, then should you be trodden by it. So when all hell breaks loose, you're going to be destroyed. You're going to be judged. No amount of money in the world is going to save your ass, nigga. All right? Every last one of you celebrities that's out there that sold your soul to this man, you're going to pay that ultimate price. Okay? It's not going to be a nice, you're just going to go to sleep, or you're going to be able to fake your death. Nah, you're going to suffer the hefty price. Thus save the scriptures. So with that being said, shalom to the elect of the nations of shalom.